Hello, Mr. D-Man.
Hello there, GD Wanderer.
Very formal, very formal. Good, good. This is all great.
Well, I don't know how else to do it, so
Yeah, I'm just gonna leave it at that. I'll figure it out later. So I never really ended up figuring it out later. But I do think just before we get into the interview, I should probably discuss who D-Man is a bit lightly if you don't know who he is. But the basic gist is he makes Total Drama fan seasons, he makes Total Drama variety content. He's basically a Total Drama nerd. To put it nicely, no disrespect intended, that's just the easiest way to explain him. But he does make very interesting content, so if you don't know who he is or haven't checked out his content, really recommend that you go subscribe to his channel and check his stuff out. It's a lot more high quality than mine, and he's been doing it for a bit longer, so he's better at it than me. Also, we talk about it later near the end of the interview, but his new season that he's doing has a really interesting concept that I'm really digging. This was the first interview I ever did, and I wasn't really good at asking follow-up questions. I wasn't really good at doing it. So it's definitely a little slow, awkward, clunky at parts, which was all 100% my fault. And I hope that if you finish this video and you feel like it was a bit weird, that you go and watch the next one I upload, because I trust you that one is a bit more clear, it's not as weird. Also, it doesn't help that I was pretty sick while recording this with him, and I genuinely do not remember much of what we talked about until afterwards when I had to edit it. I just didn't want us to have to reschedule again because we were scheduled about 3 different times because I kept getting our time zones wrong, which shows you how good I am at this. But yeah, I just wasn't really feeling good at this. I was a bit weird. I was a bit out of it. So I tried to cut out all the weird stuff I could, but some of it seeped through. And with that being said, so I hope you enjoy the interview. I always feel like I want to know this of YouTubers because mine just kind of came out of nowhere. But how did you choose your YouTube name that you chose to put on your profile for everyone to see?
yes. Well, I don't know. I don't know if you know this, but I have changed the name twice, I believe, at this point.
Really?
Originally it was just called Lindsay, right? And this was sort of
Mm,
back before I talked in videos and stuff, so it was just called Lindsay, whatever.
yeah,
Then as I started talking more, I changed it to Lindsay bracket E-Man, and then finally I swapped those around.
I see. I think I see that. I remember I looked at some of your older videos, and not to judge or anything. It's a free space. They were definitely you role playing as Lindsay in like
Yes.
AMAs, and I just thought that was an interesting creative choice. I didn't really get it
Fair.
doing. I maybe it's just too smart for me. I just don't understand the intricacies of what is happening there. D-man meaning
doesn't really mean much to be honest.
ah
Well, my name is Daniel. I can say that. So
ah
sometimes you get the nickname like Dan Man. I know in high school I did get called D-Man. I did have some
mm.
other nicknames. Did you believe this or not? I was called Big D.
Oh,
And just for the
very
record,
nice.
just for the, just for record.
Because I
No,
feel like it's weird to give that name to a
high
child. Okay,
school.
no, that's better. Yeah.
High school. I was like, oh,
All right, all right, all right.
gonna complain about this.
I've never revealed my real name on my channel, nor do I really feel like doing it here. But my name
Yeah,
is not that cool, so like I never could do anything like that of like mixing with my
yeah,
name. My name's just like some lame white guy name.
yeah.
But D-Man's a very easy one to work with. Also very recognizable. I can see the appeal to that. I get you.
I hope so.
Yeah, yeah, I get you, Big D. Do you want me to call you that for the rest of the?
No, please.
What precisely made you want to do total drama adjacent content where your content's mostly revolving around a children's TV show?
Is that also sort of start asking like stop? Now, I don't know what I'm saying.
Yeah, yeah,
Um,
yeah.
sure, why? To be honest, I did. I will say I did have a channel which didn't focus on to. Then this one ended up doing better, so I was just like, "What am I doing? I'll just focus on this one. This one's really doing better, so let's just."
I see. It was a quick career adjustment. I actually had a similar thing, but my other channel was not like closely connected to this one. It was a channel I did like a year ago, and I would rather be tortured for hours than ever let those videos resurface to the world.
I could say that those videos for me don't exist anymore, so no one's gonna find
They do not exist for me either. Yeah, I got removed them.
any videos that did still exist were there were like two videos from that old channel which were total drama related, and I was just like, I was just switched over.
I mean, yeah, that's smart. It was my humor back then of when I was like 16, 15, which was amazing time to be alive. To have your about middle school humor pushed upon the
Yes,
world.
we're
It
all
was beautiful.
hilarious at 15 and 16. That's
Yeah,
right out.
when we were at that age, we got life figured out. We understand everything.
I've always thought if there's one word I describe like total drama fan base, it's passionate, and that could be a good or a bad
Yeah, no, I was just thinking. I was like, that's a very convenient word you chose. What
thing.
are your
Yeah.
thoughts on the reboot seasons? Did they
Uh,
match your expectations?
they were about what I expected. My expectations weren't too high, so it's good that they at least met them.
The first season, I was really, really letting myself be okay that I might be disappointed. So I was kind of still in like Pakatu Island mindset, where I was like, I'm acknowledging the fact that it could very well be another Pakatu Island. If it's better than that, then I'll be fine. But it really surprised me with the first season.
For me, I was thinking like if it's about as good as Revenge of the Island, which to me
Yeah.
is like that's my fourth favorite season. So it's close. The first reboot season was close.
Second season, though, what's thoughts on that?
I feel like most people enjoyed it there more than I did. I don't know. It just definitely it was not as good as the first
Yeah,
one.
I am so glad that you said that. I was definitely asking you because I was trying to slowly nudge you to my opinion, which is that I did not like the second season that much at all. I didn't
Mm,
hate it, but I think
I didn't hate
because
it
my
either.
expectations were already so high from the first one, because again, I went into the first season low expectations, but then it did really well, and I was like, this is actually a fun concept. All new challenges, new characters. And then I came in the second season thinking we were going to get something similar where they were going to explore the less explored characters that they had the first season, but it was kind of the opposite where there were a lot of characters that still weren't explored, and that made me feel a certain way, like they didn't care about the characters very equally. Like a big part of total drama to me is characterization. I love characters. I love the way characters are portrayed in their stories, and I don't like
Yes.
it when their stories feel so flat.
Yeah, the second season to me is rough. For me, it's a little bit better than Armageddon, but it's kind of on the same tier. But even though I say that, it
Yeah, I
almost
agree
reminds
with
me
that.
more of almost reminds me more of All Stars a little bit, where it starts off pretty good actually, and then as it goes on, it just gets worse and worse. It's like what happened?
The first half of the second season, I was fairly surprised. I didn't think they were going to be able to keep up that strong, and unfortunately, I was right, and they couldn't. They burned out very quickly. This is something I don't see a lot of people talk about, but it really upsets me, and I don't know why. But I hate how there's like no discernible season theme or changes between season one or season two. I didn't need something like really big. I didn't need to be Action 2 or World Tour 2, but even just something as simple as like giving the characters new outfits, giving them a little more time between the seasons so you can see more changes. But it really, like, if I pulled 5 scenes from season 1 and 5 scenes from season 2 and showed you them, I don't feel like most people could tell the difference between the two. I think it mainly bugs me because the one thing I feel like I really, really would have liked from a new season is a 26 episode season. And the fact that they did two just identical seasons that were half, it's like, why wouldn't you just go all in and do one season that's 26? Because I feel like that would have fixed a lot of the issues I had.
think so as well, but I guess we'll never know for sure since it doesn't exist.
That's true. Yeah, this is all kind of speculation.
Didn't bother me as much. At least season two had like the idol, which was like, okay, that's cool to
Yeah,
have that.
I mean, wasn't used in the way I would have used it, but at least it was there.
I thought the way that was handled.
I try not to be too biased in that because Damien is definitely my favorite character. So I don't want to just say like, oh, it sucks because I don't like that Damien was taken out because of it. But it's just so many parts of it that weren't handled correctly.
I agree. Yeah, because I also like Damien, but like I don't like Michelle a whole lot. I'll say this that I really don't like her in season two either. If I don't like the character that much.
Season one, I had some bad, I don't want to say negative because they weren't like not positive, but very neutral, not caring opinions about a lot of the early boots. And I didn't really want to talk about that because I think a lot of people were excited for them going to season two, like Axel, Nichelle, Even someone like
Yeah.
Caleb a little bit. Like people talked about them and they were excited for them. They thought something was bigger for them. And I was trying to be open-minded. I didn't want to judge it and just say they had no chance, but honestly, I didn't really see a whole lot for them. Nichelle was the only one I
And
kind of had a hope for first season, but second season, her character direction, which I thought was really obvious, which was just like make her sympathetic because she can't do these things and people started outcast her, they didn't take, and I thought they were going to do something creative for that, but she kind of just became like a once an episode she'll do a cool trick and then that's it character, and I've never really been a fan of those.
Hollywood, I hope they do. I hope actually hope they stay till season 3. It's maybe a bit that may be a bit crazy, but I actually kind of hope Michelle's the villain. I see. I think they could do something there.
I would love anyone to be the villain besides Julia. I would adore that. And it's funny you mentioned another season because I actually have a question that segues right into that. So thank you for
Well,
setting that up for me. What exactly do you
there you
think
go.
is the future of the reboot? Do you think there's a chance we'd get a third season? And if we do, what exactly would you want to see for it?
I haven't thought too much about what a third season can. I think it is gonna happen somewhere. I think it's gonna happen. It'll probably be another 13 episode season. I hope not just the island for a third time. I do think at this point something needs to be fixed up. Say, I mean, I would like obviously characters like Michelle and Max Scarigo be a bit more involved with season 3. The problem is, I don't know if you could do like there's a point where it's like, well, two introduces like Alejandro and Sierra, I guess, but
Yeah.
if you introduce more characters with only 13 episodes, there's just not enough time to get rid of them all.
The second after the second season over, everyone was talking about season 3, and I don't really know if I need a third one, honestly. At least not with the same cast. Honestly, I've kind of gotten what I needed from this cast. I would have preferred if some things changed, but I don't really know if there's much more you can do without just like changing the direction. Similar, just like maybe a half returning and then a half like new character cast could be interesting. I don't really want to do World Tour again. Like I really love World Tour as a concept. I really love World Tour as a season. It's probably my favorite season. But when you think about it, like moving forward, they couldn't really do anything else. You already kind of took a big step with World Tour, and I don't feel like you could really like take a step down. Like they couldn't really do like Total Drama Egypt or Total Drama Ice Mountain, Total Drama, things like that, because they already went there for World Tour. So it's like doing that season now, it kind of would have just been a step down from what they previously explored. But I do think I want at least some sort of theme going into the third season if they were to do one. I mean, I don't want to talk too much about all the other seasons because there's obviously so much to talk about with you, my amazing, beautiful, handsome guest. But I do agree with Pac Island that it is so weird that they didn't explore the robot island because I feel like that is such a more interesting concept than just the Cree Island they had for most of the season. Like, it would have been way more interesting if they came in first episode, like, this is a robot island. Revenge of the Island was literally just a mutant island with a bunch of mutant creatures, and then suddenly a robot island is, like, completely obscene to them.
Yeah, that's what I was about to say. I'm like, oh, it's not that ridiculous because of Revenge of the Island.
It's weird they kind of came up with such a ridiculous idea for a robot island and then like pulled the punch and said like, no, we gotta level this out a bit, even though they've already like crossed the line of any normal real life connection. How long were you a voiceless creator, and at what point in your channel and what I guess event made you comfortable to talk on your channel?
Probably voiceless for about a year and a half, probably. And then for there's a video which is like 20,000 subscribe special. I was like a voice reveal or whatever. And the reason for the voice reveal was I was starting to run out of ideas, content a little bit. So when you have your voice, you can do a lot more.
I remember with my very first What If, I had wrote out the entire script and I had recorded myself saying it and I'd edited it, and I sat on that video for like a month because I didn't know if I felt comfortable with people hearing my voice, and I considered just having like an AI read it, and I realized that's completely insane because my script is not actually that well worded out. Like I don't actually write sentence for sentence what I'm saying. I just kind of like write 5 words about the general idea of what I want to talk about, and then I talk about it. Kind of had to bite the bullet and just accept that people were going to laugh at my voice.
Yeah, it was interesting for me because keep going, sorry.
No, you go. No, I insist.
Okay. When I had my like voice reveal or whatever, since the channel was called Lindsay and still, right? Some people were surprised that what? It's a dude. I was like,
You
yeah,
catfish all your subscribers. I always feel like it's so weird, not to judge anyone who does it, but I feel like it's weird when creators make like a milestone and then like reveal a personal detail about them. That's like why I'll never ever do a face reveal, like face reveal
I
at 10,000 subs, guys. I don't know. I feel like I'm auctioneering like my own personal identity.
was about to say, my mind's totally blown down.
No, please remember it.
Uh,
It's probably very valuable.
it was. Damn
This
it.
is the moment I'm gonna
Of
quote
course,
in the thumbnail of the video, and it's gonna get us hundreds of views because they're gonna see the quote. This is a big moment. You gotta remember it.
no, no. I will say that when also I had my like voice reveal, like people thought like I had like a British accent thing going on. Interesting, considering I'm not English.
It was
Yes, but
probably Americans, and we're very dumb, so you have to excuse us. We can't really tell the difference between British and Australian.
being in Australia does also have other sometimes small consequences. Like, for example, scheduling an interview.
Don't I wouldn't know anything about that, but I heard
I
it's
wouldn't know anything
crazy.
about that either.
I
But
wouldn't say
also
I
even
got the time off of our schedule by 2 hours, and then it was actually 5 hours, and then it was actually 17 hours. I wouldn't say anything about that.
but even when it comes to like premiering videos and stuff, it's like, damn it, I want to premiere it when people are awake.
Yeah, you're way nicer than me because I didn't do that. For like my first 7 videos, I just uploaded them at 1 a.m. at night with my time, and I didn't care. And like people would come and they're like, "Why would you do this to us? Like 80% of your viewers are like American. Why would you upload it at 1 a.m. at night?" And I didn't care, and I just went to sleep. And then I saw the comments the next day, and they were all mad at me.
Most of my viewers are American too, so for me, I actually have to do it at like, yeah, if I have to
Yeah, you
actually do it
actually
one
have
in
to
the
be
morning.
strategic. I was thinking about it too when we were doing the scheduling, and I can't believe how dumb I was that you told me your time and it was 2 hours ahead of my time, and I was just like, yeah, that sounds about right. Like, I'm in America, you're in Australia. 2 hours
Mm,
sounds about right. Across the
I didn't think
planet,
about,
probably just like 2 hours.
I didn't think about it for half a second when I looked at it. I'm like, I don't know. I'm sure it's fine.
I didn't think about it when I had asked you, but the second that I realized our times hadn't gone off, I was like, am I dumb? Why did I not think about that? Why did I just think our times were perfectly matched up like that?
Yeah, it's also hot for me. It's still summer for me technically, so I
What?
think it's
That's
50.
crazy. Cold up here.
Mm.
I'm dying up here. It's snowing still.
God, oh man, yesterday it's quite hot. And like Christmas is in summer and everything, so it's like I've never seen snow. I don't know.
Everyone thinks it's cool. It's cool for like one winter, and then every other winter you just can't drive anywhere.
It does look really cold. I just get to sweat a lot instead.
That sounds fun to me. I'd love to just sweat. My favorite pastime.
I do it all
All
the
right,
time.
next. At what point did you decide to use voice actors for your fan made projects? And how exactly did that change your work process, whether it's writing or like waiting for people to come back with their voice clips, things like that? How exactly does that complicate everything?
It does make things more complicated, I'll say that. I didn't really know exactly how to go around it, so I looked at the way Reunion did it, right? I sort of looked at it and I was just like, I'll do it sort of like that. I used to just send them the script for their character, but now I'm sending the script for the episode too, just so it gives a more clear idea of what, if they want to look at that, they can.
That sounds like so much work.
Sort of the way I do it is I have like the line that the character would say. I'd have like for Chris, for example, I have like CH, like a number, and then like the line, and then you just repeat that like 200, 250 times, and then voila. Good thing about writing scripts is I don't have to voice them.
I'm not gonna lie, this is the main thing that made me want to ask you to do this. I was looking for your channel, and you have some very unique ideas in your videos. The main one I found
Okay.
was a little project called Total Drama Communist Revolution, and I am just wildly curious how exactly these ideas come to you.
Well, I wanted to do something a bit smaller that was still voice acting, and so I thought I wanted to do just basically just one big, like a big shit post, basically. And
Yeah.
it is definitely inspired a little bit by Total Drama Jerusalem, and that one basically, yeah, it's Chris McClain gets sent back like 2,000 years to Jerusalem back when it's like Jesus times and stuff. Pretty absurd.
I like how Total Drama fan base kind of swings one way or another. of like very grounded and interesting logical discussions about what the characters are doing, or shit posts. There's like not much in between, I find. Like you can look at one YouTuber and they'll be having a really critical top 10 discussion of inconsistencies and plot holes don't match up. And then there's another one with like Lashana as a ball. And I just have to accept that those fandoms are the same. Like those people came from the same world.
The Shaunable was referenced in Communist Revolution. I had to do it.
No, that's how I figured it out, because I actually hadn't seen that before. I don't really like check the fan sites too much, and I'd seen Lashana Ball one time and I didn't get it, and I just thought someone was doing a dumb joke, and then I saw it in your video. I was like, I've seen this shit before. I didn't understand how everyone just like universally agreed that was an idea. I felt like everyone was a part of a cult in that moment and I didn't get a memo or something.
I don't get it either.
Yeah, that's what someone who's a part of the cult would say.
I assure you this is not a cult.
As you mentioned with working on seasons, you have started a new project called Total Drama Armageddon, and I'm just kind of curious if you want to explain what the premise of that is, and very unshamelessly plug it for my audience.
Alright. So if you haven't seen it yet, you should totally check out Total Drama Armageddon. It's great.
Oh yeah.
Premise, it's set on the original island or whatever, but well, I'm not gonna say how long, but there's two teams, 10 episodes. There's like a traitor gimmick basically, where in each episode there's a traitor on each team. The traitors just try and make their own team lose. Can successfully do that. Like if their team loses and they're the traitor, they will get some like benefit or whatever. So far in the first episode, it's been like an immunity idol, and it's been being able to see all the votes before they can vote. If your team wins and you're a traitor, it's just gone, just automatically. It was basically a way for me to have 18 contestants in 10 episodes. It's been good so far. I've been enjoying it. People have been enjoying it so far. I will say which character. There's one character I've had a lot of fun writing. I'm not going to say which, but Sam might be. That's a pretty big pick.
I didn't really plan on how I was going to end this. Goodbye.
Okay.
Thank you for be here. I love you.
Thank you for a bit strong. But yes, thank you for asking me to do this. It's been good to talk to you and everything. Everyone who's watching this enjoyed this video as well.
Bye. And there you go. That was my first Totally Dramatic with D-Man. You might have noticed we had some outdated topics, and that's because this interview was actually recorded, God, I don't even know, like 8 months ago, so I hope that didn't interfere with the viewing experience too much. I hesitated on putting this one out because D-Man actually kind of took a break from his channel during the time I wanted to upload it, but he's recently just gotten back into his channel, and he's starting to work on Total Drama Armageddon again, and I think he'd really appreciate it if you go check it out, even if it's just for a bit. There's only like 5 episodes right now, so it's not like you're investing hours of your time like you do with my channel. Just go give it a quick check to see if it's a thing for you. And yeah, bye, I guess.